Business Leaders of Today is presented by Tess Turin, marketing and advertising consultant, and Angel Nowlin, who specializes in business insurance and asset protection.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Business Leaders of Today. Our show will introduce to you the brightest, sharpest business leaders around the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Tess Turin, your host, and my co-host is out of town today, but I have my talented and charming executive producer, Mike Salmon, here with me to help out. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Tess.
How are you?
I would never leave your side like Angel. I'm always here for you.
I know it. You're my rock.
Yeah, and you got a full house here today, don't you?
We sure do, and everybody's enjoying that Uncle Mattio's pizza. So Uncle Mattio's is located at 3320 Buford Drive in Buford, Georgia. Be sure to go and like them at their Facebook. They do catering, birthday parties. They dine in and take out. So a special thanks to Uncle Mattio's Pizza. We have a terrific show for you all today. We have in our studio Shane Underwood from Think Green Lawn Service, co-owner. How are you this morning, Shane?
Doing great, Tess. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming out. We also have Darshell Exum from After School Sports Academy, owner and operator. Good morning, Darshell.
Good morning, Tess.
And we also have Lloyd Lofton, Vice President of Sales at American Eagle Financial Services. Good morning, Lloyd.
Tess, I'm just as glad to be here as I am to see that pizza sitting there.
Very good, very good. Well, we want to first start with Shane at Think Green Lawn Care. So Shane, tell us a little bit about Think Green Lawn.
Well, thanks, Tess. Think Green Lawn Service is into the weed control and fertilization of your yards. We are trying to provide homes in Atlanta, with lush, beautiful, weed-free yards. The first question we usually get from people that call in is, do you mow? And our answer is no, we do not mow. We just take care of the chemical and the treatment aspect of the yard. So we've been in business now for this is our 5th year. We started because we thought there was a need for a higher level of customer service in the industry. Most of our employees have worked for large corporate entities before and just felt like the customer aspect, the human touch wasn't there. So that's kind of why we got involved and started the business and have had good success doing it.
Sounds great. So tell us a little bit more about the services that Think Green Lawn Care provides.
So again, we'll fertilize, take care of the weeds in your yard. We offer tree and shrub services as well to keep the landscape looking nice and growing. We offer some pesticides, so flea and tick if you have animals in the yard and you want to take care of that. Fire ants if there's fire ants. This year we've started a new service for mosquito control.
Very important in Georgia.
Yeah, we start that about May, so we're really looking forward to getting into that. We have several thousand customers in the Atlanta area and have built the business a lot around referrals. Haven't done a lot of marketing yet, but really appreciate the chance to come on the show and talk about our business with you.
Well, you're welcome. So let me ask you, now how far, obviously I know you had mentioned Atlanta, but how far is your reach, based on, say, downtown? Do you guys do it like a 30, 40, 50 mile north, south, east, west, or how do you all break down your territory?
So we're basically out of 2 locations now, and that's northeast Georgia. So we go from Canton all the way over to, say, Buford, Sewanee, and Decula, that area, Cumming, Georgia, some Alpharetta in that area. So kind of up the 400 corridor, east and west of that for several miles. We also are southwest Atlanta, so Peachtree City, Noonan, and those areas down in that part of Georgia. We are looking to expand possibly next year over into the Marietta and up the 75 corridor as well.
Excellent. So tell us, some of the listeners out there that might have just bought a home and never used services like yours before. What are some of the biggest benefits?
Some of the biggest benefits, one is a weed-free yard, and if you're new to a neighborhood, you're going to have a homeowners association that will likely prefer you not have any weeds in your yard whatsoever. So it's funny, you can be fined for having a yard that's not well maintained. If you're looking at the environmental aspects of it, a thick, lush yard, which there's more Bermuda per square inch than if you have weeds. So if you're growing Bermuda and it's nice and thick, the benefits to the atmosphere. So plants breathe in carbon dioxide, release oxygen. So what you talk about the carbon footprint. If you have a very thick, lush yard, you're doing more for the environment than if it's a yard full of weeds and it's very sparse and dirt. So we help grow the yard. We give stronger root systems to the grass. Bermuda down here, it's one of the great things about it. It grows very aggressively. So if you have a sparse yard and you fertilize it and water it, then it's going to grow fast. The negative part is it grows very aggressively. So you got to tend to the weed beds and everything, and also keeping your plants and shrubbery looking good around the landscape of your house. We can apply some of our products to that to help promote growth in those areas as well.
Now, people that have pets, and I know people know what I'm talking about if you have pets, they leave stains on a lot of times on the grass. Now, do you have products that prevent that from happening?
Doesn't prevent that, but what happens is a lot of time it's your very natural pet foods are high in nitrogen. So that causes the animals, when they go to the restroom, to concentrate a high level of nitrogen in one area on your yard, which can essentially kill the grass there. That is really not preventable, but what you can do is if you keep the yard nicely fertilized and watered, the Bermuda growing fast will cover up that spot very quickly. So the best thing to do is maybe if you have a pine straw area off to the side, it would be nice to kind of take your dog over there. I know it's hard to control where your dog goes, but if you're outside with them and have some control of that, or you could try changing their dog food, that may make a difference in whether or not you're killing areas of the yard.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
If somebody looked out at their yard, what would they see that would give them an indication they need to have someone like you come out and do something to their yard?
Bare spots, thin areas in the yard, which could be caused by shade. So we get a lot of people that come out and say they can't get grass to grow in a certain area. You can definitely call us out, and we can let you know if you need to trim trees back, extend the landscaping, or if there's something that we can do to help in that area. If there's a lot of weeds right now with the weather starting to warm up, if you drive by yards, if you can tell if they're taking care of a lawn service company, they'll still be dormant. They'll still be one color. If you've got a lot of green coming up in your yard right now, that's different grasses. It could be poana or fescue that are not native to your yard that came in that we can also help get rid of. So any weeds popping up right now, if you have green in your yard and it's Bermuda and it's supposed to be dormant, that would be a great sign at this time of year.
Well, you're listening to Business Leaders of Today with Tess Turin, your marketing and advertising consultant, and Angel Nowlin, your business insurance specialist. And we are speaking with Shane Underwood, co-owner of Think Green Lawn Service. So, Shane, your website talks about bringing customer focus back to your industry. Could you expand on that for us?
Yeah, so where we started the company at and some of the reasons were being in a corporate lawn service with some of our owners and employees, they didn't feel the customer was getting the attention. It was more of a sales machine. They were out for more revenue. They didn't care whether they maintained the customer. Their biggest goal was to get the customer. And then whether they kept them or not wasn't as important. It also, in the way that they paid their employees, focused on doing more revenue, doing more sales. And so the customer kind of got left out of that. So we wanted to bring the customer focus back into that and focus on that. So when we started our company, that was one of our focuses. Was we tell our technicians, take care of the yard. If you're out there for 3 hours because you have to take off a hand sprayer and hand spray the majority of the yard because a certain product needs to be used, go ahead and do that. We're not going to ding your daily sales or what you make that day in commission off doing that yard. And we just wanted to focus on the customer. It's funny, some of the stories they have from corporate are, it's the last day of the quarter, you're behind in revenue, it's pouring down rain, go ahead and send the trucks out. Go treat everybody, because it's not going to be effective, but they needed their quarterly numbers. So
Yeah.
being private, we don't have to worry about the quarterly numbers. If it's raining, we're not going to come out and treat your yard because we know we'd have to come back out and do it again when the sun came out. So for us, it was, just take care of the customer, take care of the yard, make them happy, and do everything we can to make sure that the service we provide is what the customers are looking for.
My turn, Tess. I got a question as well
Sure.
For Shane, and I've always wondered this. I know a lot of folks during the summer months, of course, they use your services. I know some people, though, during the winter months, I don't need the service anymore. The grass is not growing anymore. How important is it to continue that type of service, have someone like you out there in the winter months, or is it maybe not necessary during the winter months?
The winter months are actually more important, Mike, so
That's what I
great
what I
thing
thought.
for bringing that
Yeah.
up. So actually right now, and we did it through November, December, January, February, we're putting pre-emergence. So there's two type of products to treat weeds. There's pre-emergence to hopefully get them before they germinate and grow out of the ground. And then there's post-emergence, which you can spray on a weed once it's emerged from the ground. So the goal is to not ever have the weed come out of the ground, and that is the most important applications we put on through October, November, December, January, and February. So it's great. We're selling a lot of lawns now as we're talking to customers, of neighbors of them, because they look out at our customer's lawn and there's nothing right now, and in their lawn they're starting to get weeds popping up, and that's because of some of the products that we put down in the winter and early part of this year. But those are the most important. There's every once in a while we get a customer that wants to skip a treatment or two. I don't think I need X number of treatments a year, so the ones we choose to skip are usually July and August, because the winter and early part of the year's treatments are the most important.
I know you guys do a lot of lawns in my neighborhood, and I think that's how I originally reached out to Jim, your partner, once upon a time. But people in Georgia really do care about their properties, I have to say.
Yes, they do.
And it's almost a competition when especially in the springtime. I mean, they're out there, they're trimming, and they're making their lawns look as best as they can. And you can certainly tell which ones are getting treatments and which ones aren't. And I know the ones in my neighborhood specifically that use Think Green, they look absolutely great.
Oh, thank you. That's our goal, and we'll start. So we've started an Instagram. We're trying to get a little more social, and so last year, or the past few years, we've had several of our customers win Lawn of the Month in their subdivision, and so you'll start seeing those pop up on some of our social media on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
Very cool. So you're listening to Business Leaders of Today with Tess Turin and Angel Nowlin, and we are speaking with Shane Underwood from Think Green Lawn Services. So focusing for a moment on the products. Now, do all companies use the same products, or do y'all use different products?
They have the capability to. There's like if you go into Home Depot and say you walk down the fertilizer aisle, there's several different choices there for you to choose from. There's some that's less expensive. There's some that's more expensive. So in our industry, everybody has a choice to use, the higher end or the lower end, and so what we try to do is find some of the higher end that seems to work better for us, because it's kind of funny. Once you have a yard and you get to treat it for several months or several treatments, and you kind of get the yard under control, it becomes much easier for us to maintain that yard. So if we get that yard and it's in very dire condition, and we spend a lot of time on it, after we get it for a while and we have it through an extended period, it's much easier for us to take care of that yard because of the products that we choose to use on that. So a good example is a product we used this year for the pre-emergence, like we talked about with Mike, is we chose to test something last year. It worked extremely well. So this year we put it on all of our customers' yards, and it's turned out to be great for us.
Okay. So any expert advice you can give somebody right now that is springtime's coming and they're looking to hire a company like yours? Any words of advice?
Yeah. Most of the companies are going to offer the same services. I would actually just drive through your neighborhood. If we're in your area, we have yards in your neighborhood, and just go compare ours. We have it's a light bulb sign that we put in the yards after we treat it. Call us, talk to us. We'd be happy to discuss anything. The prices are going to be around the same for everybody, and price doesn't really matter, but the quality does. If you save $2 a treatment, you're saving $16 a year, and if your yard's not going to look good, then that's really not helping. So
that's true. So one last question. People that are listening right now that might want to get more information about your business, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way is to call our office. Our numbers for Atlanta are 678-648-2556. Or you can go to our website, which is www.thinkgreenlawnservice.com. There's a contact page on the website that you can enter your information, and somebody will call you back, or just feel free to call the office anytime.
Okay, great. Well, thanks again, Shane Underwood from Think Green Lawn Service. Appreciate you coming out.
All right, thanks, Tess.
So our next guest today in the studio is Darshell Exum from After School Sports Academy, owner and operator. Good morning, Darshell.
Good morning, Tess.
So tell us all about After School Sports Academy.
Well, After School Sports Academy is an after-school program where we focus on sports and nutrition. Our goal is to try to help children understand that by staying active and eating healthy foods, this is the key to good overall health. So we started our after-school program to kind of sneak in a way to get the fitness they need, but make it fun. So we introduce sports to them and nutrition classes to them so that they don't realize that they're doing fitness. They just they don't realize they're doing fitness, but they're still being active after school.
You know, it's so important. I mean, even Michelle Obama, the president's wife, that's her number one goal, it seems like, is to try to educate, especially the children now. It's really tough because of the way that society is. I mean, I have a 6-year-old son, so I know how important it is to keep them active because they seem to just want to, go right to the video games and right to the refrigerator after school. So it sounds like that you have a great program that helps children, and then of course helps the working moms and dads out there, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the services and the age groups.
Right now we service we service children ages 4 up to 12. So we'll pick up from schools with children that are in the Georgia pre-K program.
Oh, wow.
All the way up to middle school.
So when you say you pick up, so you have transportation directly
Yes.
from the school to your location, and then the moms and dads pick up the children from there.
Yes,
Great.
we are licensed through Bright from the Start Child Care Center. And what we do, we provide the transportation to any public, private, or charter school in DeKalb County. And we bring them back to our center, and we provide the service for the parents.
Oh, wow. That's great. So what types of activities does After School Sports provide for the children?
Well, right now we offer basketball, football, soccer, dance, cheerleading, and karate. And the way we do it is the children decide on a monthly basis what sport they want to learn the fundamentals of. They can change every month, so they'll get an opportunity to learn all the sports, learn the fundamentals of all the sports. But they choose on a monthly basis what sport they want to partake in. And we have coaches that come in to teach those sports, the fundamentals of those sports. And they have an hour of coaching time after school, after homework is done. Mm-hmm. And that's how we introduce the sports to them.
Wonderful. Well, you're listening to Business Leaders of Today with Tess Turin and Angel Nowlin, and we are speaking with Darshell Exum, owner and operator of After School Sports Academy. So I know you had mentioned your geographic area. Did you say all of DeKalb County?
Basically, yes. We pick up from, right now we pick up at about 20 schools in DeKalb County. We haven't went to Gwinnett yet, but that's our main goal, focus to move forward and to expand our business. But right now we pick up in DeKalb County.
Okay, great. So I have to ask, what inspired you to get into this line of work? It does take a special person to take care of multiple children on a daily basis. What's your background?
Well, we've always been in the child care business. But what really inspired us was our First Lady, Michelle Obama, and her Let's Move campaign to fight childhood obesity. And we thought, how can we help? What can we do to help with fitness and childhood obesity to end this crisis? So we thought of starting an after-school program where we keep them active, no videos. They come in, they do have an hour of homework time where they are sedentary, but after that, they have to get into some sport that they want to. After sport, we have game time where we play dodgeball, kickball. They can do hula hoop. They can even do jump. They can do jump rope or even jackstones. We just want them to be active and be sociable and learn about, healthy eating and just staying fit.
The kind of stuff that we used to do when we were kids, right?
Outdoors.
That's right. My mom used to just kick me out and wouldn't let me come home till supper. It's a lot different now, though, isn't it? It's just a lot different. But that's great that you have a place for children to do that type of activity. So how are you currently getting the word out?
Right now, we're using direct mailings, and we also we go to camp expos whenever different organizations have expos in the mall. We go to those and just pass out our cards and talk to parents face to face. So that's how we've been marketing so far.
And I know that you're working on a website that'll be out here shortly as well. So that'll be a great addition to your marketing efforts. So what does a typical day at After School Sports consist of? I know you had just kind of mentioned it, but does each age group have different activities, or do they participate in all the activities?
Well, a typical day is we pick them up from school. They come in, they do get a snack. They have 1 hour of homework time where our teachers help them with homework. If it's something they need downloading off the internet, we can help them with that. And then after that, coaches come in, and it's time for sports. And they branch off to whatever sport they picked for that month. And then after sports, that's when game time is. We have game time. And then after game time, we serve them dinner so that parents, when they come in, they don't have to go get fast food to keep it where they're healthy. So we serve them a proper meal. And we close at 7 o'clock, which gives the parents time to come and let the kids enjoy a family-style meal where they can sit down and they can chat with their friends. Our classrooms are such where they're age-level classrooms. So kindergarten and first are together, second and third is together, and fourth, fifth, and sixth is together because the conversations change as you age. So we wanted them to be able to sit down family-style, eat, chat, because they don't get to talk a lot at school and have a lot of interaction with friends. So that's what we really wanted to do, just bring out the whole child and let them be able to have fun after school. We are starting an etiquette class where right now we're doing nutrition, but we're going to introduce etiquette training so that they can learn about just different things as far as being mannerable.
That's great. That's really great, Darshelle.
Let me ask you, where do you get your coaches from?
Our coach, well, right now we interviewed from, I did put an ad on Craigslist, and we got a lot of interest from Craigslist, different coaches, and I would just put an ad up and ask for football, soccer, cheerleading coaches like that. So that's how I did get a lot of coaches from that.
So going back...
Oh, yes. Our coaches are paid coaches. They're not volunteers.
Right.
So they come in and they do, we check backgrounds, of course.
Sure.
And
they're certified as well?
They're not really certified, but they have a lot of experience in the sport that they're teaching.
I see.
And we wanted them to be able to prove that they could coach children because it's different in coaching, grown-ups. So we wanted them to be able to be with that age group.
Now, going back to your hours of operation, because like I was telling you before, I have a 6-year-old, and I'm one of those moms that work all day and fighting Atlanta traffic, getting back home. The place that my son goes after school is only open till 6, but you were saying yours is open till 7?
Yes.
That's definitely a plus for a lot of parents. So as far as membership, some parents their schedule is always changing. Do you offer a drop-in as well as a a normal schedule?
Yes, because some parents are work from home parents, but they still want their kids to be able to get 3 or 4 days or 1 day a week of karate or whatever. So we will allow drop-ins for 1 day, 2 days. It's up to them, and we structure the price to benefit that.
Okay, wonderful.
But we are open when school is in session. We're open 2 to 7, and when school is out of session, which is spring break or summer, we're open from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m.
I see. Okay, wonderful. So if people out there right now that are listening that want to get more information about the business, what's the best way to get a hold of you now?
Right now, the best way is to call me. Call me for a tour. I'd love to show you our facility. The classrooms are set up, like I said, for individual age levels, grade levels. And the best way is to call me at 678-705-2275. We're still in the process of building our website. Mm-hmm. But you can always call me, and I'd love to tell you all about our program.
Sounds wonderful. Well, thanks so much again, Darshell Exum from After School Sports Academy, owner and operator. Certainly appreciate you coming out today and sharing that great information.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. And last but not least, we have Mr. Lloyd Lofton from American Eagle Financial Services, VP of Sales. Good morning, Lloyd.
Hey, Miss Tess, you've already got my mind working. The juices are flowing listening to all this good conversation.
You are my anchor today.
I'm already thinking about the marketing part of it. So I'm already envisioning over here with the after-school services. They offer a coupon program for having their lawn work done and get a 10% discount if they mention your services. And I'm seeing over here on the lawn care services, one of your banners is that you support the after-school program, and
That's right.
Customers that have after-school program get a discount if they use that. I love that
cool.
kind of stuff.
Absolutely. You do commercial as well, right, Shane?
Yes,
Yeah.
we have commercial in.
They do commercial too, so that could work
so
out
let's
good.
say any of the parents that own a business whose kids are in after-school program, that business could also get a discount.
I'm sure we can
All
work
right.
something out.
I love this.
Promoter there.
There you go. That's what we do. Marketing.
That's
Yeah.
right. So tell us a little bit about American Eagle Financial Services.
Well, American Eagle Financial Services offers financing programs to small business owners. You know, the challenge of today's economy is that small business owners are good people, but their credit and finances have been hurt because of the economy, and they don't always qualify for or have the opportunity to raise the revenue or funding to expand their business, and they're looking for alternate forms of funding. So we help them do that. And customers are good people, but they've been damaged. Their credit's been hurt, and their finances have been hurt because of the economy. All businesses like to have 4 tiers of revenue. And those 4 tiers of revenue they want their customers to pay by cash, right? Because you get all your money up front. You want your customers to put it on a credit card because you get all your money up front.
Cash is king.
Cash is king. Giddy up, mama. You want them to get financed. If they don't have the money or enough credit left on their credit card, you want them to get financed because you get all your money up front. But all businesses need to have a 4th tier of revenue, and that's an alternate form of funding. There's a lot of people that don't have the finances or the resources to drive 5 miles to Kroger to save money on milk. They have to buy milk at the corner grocery store at the end of the block. And they need an alternate form of funding. They're still good people. They're great customers. They just need another way to pay for it. So we offer those type of financing programs. Then we offer marketing and coupon and loyalty programs for businesses. And we offer training programs. So no matter what type of business you have, you need one of those type of services. The part that probably helps us generate the most business is the training portion of it. I don't really care what type of which one of our products that you might have an interest in. What I do know is that if you participate in the training program, we're going to help you generate revenue. And once we help you start generating more revenue, you typically will go and use more of our products. Most all businesses have two types of customers. You either have an if customer, that's somebody that's got the money to make a purchase from you, and they're just deciding if they're going to do business with you. And you've got a how customer. Those are people that want your product, but they're just trying to figure out how to pay for it. And they're trying to figure out, you have different payment methods. As I said, they've been hurt by the economy a little bit. So we try and help businesses identify which one of those type of customers they have, and then help them transfer into and pivot over to the type of funding program that will enable that customer to make a purchase from them. We call it the lost sales analysis. So we help businesses conduct lost sales analysis. Sometimes your growth in business isn't growth that comes from a planned expansion. It's growth because you learn how to pick up business that you're currently losing. In other words, you've already spent your time, energy, and resources bringing floor traffic in, bringing customers in, and you lose that customer because they don't have the money or credit to make a purchase from you. So by having an alternate form of funding and by training your staff at point of sale how to convert those customers over to the different funding methods that are more appropriate for them, you tend to pick up lost sales. And if you're picking up lost sales, you reduce your acquisition costs, which actually makes your profit more.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. I have to say, I've been in sales for, 16 years. And, you constantly have to self-improve. It's not something, training is a very important component, being in the type of industry that we're in, sales. And a lot of companies don't realize that. A lot of sales professionals don't realize that, and they kind of miss the mark there.
Well, the thing I like to point out is, business owners, I always think it's funny when I'm in a business owner's business and I see a salesman come in. Their pitch is always the same. It's like all salespeople go to the same sales school and learn the same pitch, the same presentation, and that is, I want to save you money. I'll be 60 years old this year, and I've yet to meet a small business owner who said, I got in business to save money.
You want to make money.
Yeah, nobody gets in business to save money. They get in business to make money.
Right.
Now, if the way I make money means that I can reposition money that I'm currently spending in one area of my business to another area to generate more revenue, they're open-minded to that. But the reason salespeople tend to get rejected by small business owners when they say, I want to save you money, is the business owner isn't interested in saving money. They want to make money. So the challenge for small business owners is to recognize what they're good at. I think you should do what you're good at, and you should turn over to professionals the things that you're not good at and let them help you do that. So you get a small business owner, if it's an auto repair shop, the reason he started an auto repair shop is he's good at working on cars. The reason that you started your lawn service business is because you're good at working with customers. You're an expert in what you do. But there's things that we're not experts in and that we hire people to do. The other part of that is that our point of sales people don't have the same passion and the same skill set that we may necessarily have as small business owners. So it's good to have a training program. It's good to have a program that allows the point of sale people to not only learn how to deal with customers, but to understand how business works. When I listen to the after-school program and I hear the parents dropping them off, I listen to the, features is what a product does. Benefits is why people want the product. So an after-school program isn't just so that the kids learn, become more healthy, and they stay active. From a selfish point of view, I've had 6 kids and 4 grandkids. I was a slow learner.
And busy man.
But the value-added benefit for a husband and wife is that gives us more time to take care of things that the kids would normally have to sit in the back seat of a car, locked in a car seat, while we're driving around running those errands. So if we get off work at 4 or 5 o'clock, we have the opportunity to run errands and take care of stuff that actually gives us more time, more value time with our kids once we get home because you already fed them, right? Yeah, so it's not, this is part of the challenge when we work with business owners. Business owners always think of 2 things. They always think of product and price. And your customers are not the least bit interested in product and price. They're more interested in how does it benefit me.
Yeah, and back to Darshell for a second. I do remember you had said that your business participates in the lottery program. Again, another huge benefit for parents.
Absolutely.
So things like that is what Lloyd is talking about.
Look at it right here. We're on a radio show, right? But every one of your customer tunes into WIIFM radio. What's in it for me? And they're not listening to your product or price. They're listening to, why should I listen to you? Why should I care what you have to say? Why should I care what you're marketing? So the key is to start talking to people about the things that matter to them the most, the things they use the most, in the order they use those things. And the truth is, it's kind of like driving a car, buying a car. When you go test drive a car, and before you leave the lot and you get behind the steering wheel of the car, what do you typically do? You adjust things, right? And what do you adjust? The steering wheel, the radio, the seat, the side windows. Well, what are you really doing? You're making that car fit you, right? Mm-hmm. Then you take it out for a test drive. You come back on the car dealership's lot, and where does the salesman have you park the car? Well, right next to your car, right? So you can see what a piece of crap you're driving.
Yeah, and then he tries to get you to take it home for the weekend.
Yeah, and then where do you go? Well, you go inside, right? Are you going inside to discuss which car you're buying? Or are you going to decide to determine how much you're paying for that car?
Right.
So you've already taken emotional ownership over the car. You're just deciding how much you're paying for it. And that's the challenge. In the lawn business and the school program, the challenge is that we have to get the customer to take emotional ownership over it so the price validates the service they're getting. And that's what we do. That's what we help small business owners learn to do.
Well said, Lloyd. Well, you're listening to Business Leaders of Today with Tess Turin, your marketing and advertising consultant, and Angel Nallen, your business insurance specialist. And we are speaking with Lloyd Lofton, VP of Sales at American Eagle Financial Services. So tell us a little bit more about the training. I know you've touched on it and given us some live demos here, but how does the training aspect of the business work? So if I wanted to get, if I really wanted to jump in, how would it work?
Well, you can just call us at 678-426-1506. But we help all kinds of small business owners. I helped a lawyer up in Dallas County. The problem he had is a criminal defense lawyer. And what happens is that people would call in, get the price over the phone, and never show up. Some of them would even make an appointment to show up. And the problem with that is once you give the price over the phone, the people have no reason to see you. People don't call up to get a price to rule you in. They call up to get a price to rule you out.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like getting in a car wreck, right? When you get in a car wreck and you call your auto insurance agent, what does he tell you to do? Doesn't he tell you to get 3 estimates? Now, when you get that first estimate, are you getting that first estimate to make a buying decision? Or are you getting that first estimate to compare to the next estimate, right?
Yeah, it's the kiss of death when you give the price.
So when back in the insurance side of our business, when someone calls in and says, "Can I get a quote?" They might as well finish the sentence. Can I get a quote? Because I'm not buying from you today.
I just want a price.
I mean, I already know they're getting a quote to compare me to somebody else. People would call up the criminal defense lawyer to find out how much it costs to get representation on a particular case. What they didn't recognize is people are calling up to rule him out, not rule him in. Mm-hmm. So what we did is we wrote a script for the point of sale person, the person answering the phone, and that script identified what kind of case and what expertise they need. And then the dominant buying motive, the trial close that we taught them to use, is what concerns you more, how much the case would cost or how you would pay for it. And 80% of the time, guess what people said? How I would pay for it. Mm-hmm. Well, great, we have 4 different methods. Let's schedule you in on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and we'll figure out which method fits you best. And all of a sudden, they saw a 70% increase in the floor traffic of people would come in because they were no longer ruling them out. They were actually coming in to rule them in, and that makes a difference. If you're presenting your product or service in a way that allows people to rule you out,
right,
then you're not really selling. You want people to buy from you.
Makes sense.
If you're talking to people to help them buy your service or product, then you have to give them a reason to rule you in. People buy on emotion and then move to action by logic. Mm-hmm. Even when people say they buy logically, they do that because of how it makes them feel. So people always buy on emotion, and they're always moved to action by logic.
I'm sure you get that a lot too, Shane, huh? People calling up and doing price checking on you. Now, does your team say, I need to come out and check out the lawn before I give you a quote? Is that typically how it works with your...
It is. We find that if we can get out and talk to the customer and walk over their lawn with them and show them where we could help and what areas have not gotten any attention,
right,
then it helps a lot, and it is emotional.
And that's why I asked that question, is because my idea of a handyman is the Yellow Pages. I mean, I don't know how to do anything at home. My wife will go out on the front porch, and we have this great big lawn with an island in the center, and she'll say, "Look at those weeds," and I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? I don't see any darn weeds. I see a bunch of dead grass.
You're dating yourself, Lloyd, talking about yellow pages.
There you go. There you go. Thank you for pointing that out. So I wouldn't have a clue what to look at. But my wife, when we lived in Iowa, my wife had a service like yours that came out and took care of the yard. I never understood what they did, but the yard looked great all the time. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's why I asked that question. To me, I'm looking at the yard like, yeah, what's the point? I couldn't tell the difference between a weed and a grass or a flower. I know that when I run the lawnmower, I run over her flowers because I think they're weeds. So, I mean, it does matter when people call in. You know, people talk from their point of view and people hear from their point of view. And the problem for a lot of businesses, the people that take the phone call are hearing from their point of view. They have a script they're supposed to follow. So if people don't, you know, the problem is for most businesses, they don't send that script out to the customer. So the customer doesn't know this is what they're supposed to say.
Right, right. Well, you're listening to Business Leaders of Today with Tess Turin, your marketing and advertising expert. And we are speaking with Lloyd Lofton, VP of Sales at American Eagle Financial. So how did you get into this line of work, Lloyd? I have to ask.
Well, I started in the insurance business in 1977. So I've been in sales for a long time. I was an old door-to-door guy. But back in 2009, we started looking at the marketplace. The healthcare law was actually before Congress at that time. And we recognized that there was going to be a change in the marketplace. So we wanted to have a wider net to bring in a different type of customer and different type of salespeople. So we looked for some non-insurance related products, and a friend of mine runs a credit card processing business. He's quite successful at it, and so that's how we first got into it, processing credit cards, doing credit card processing through different services. That led us to financing, that led us to marketing and coupons, and we recognized that if we didn't train the merchants how to use our program, they would probably use it less. Every new customer you get, they always become 90-day wonders. You know, the first 90 days you have a customer, they use your service a lot. But after 90 days, they become a 90-day wonder. You wonder what happened to them.
Yeah, the dating is over and the marriage begins.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's because, you know, it's like the picture that's hanging in your living room. You know, your wife took you out, drug you out to the store, bought the picture. You hung it up, didn't use a level. She complained about it, so you used a level. You got it hung correctly. And she thought it looked great. And now 6 months later, someone walks in the house and says, that's a great picture. And you look around your living room and go, what picture? Because you become anesthetized to it. The problem is that customers they either use your service once, or if it's a repeat, and they're going to use your service more often, it becomes commonplace to them. So the value of your service gets lost the longer you keep your customer. And the reason it gets lost is because it becomes common. The service you provide is now a common service, not an uncommon service. They come on with you because what you offer is uncommon compared to what they had before. But after 3 months, it's a common service that they become used to it. Mm-hmm. So the truth is you have to keep reselling the value of your program. Even if people say that they're comfortable with it, after 90 days, the door's open for somebody else to come in. I always love it when salespeople leave a brochure behind because you just gave me my sales pitch. I know exactly how to sell against you now.
Right. Well, those people that are out there listening right now, companies, B2B, B2C companies, might want to get some more information about you and your services. What's the best way to reach you?
You can call us at 678-426-1506. You can email me at lloydlofton@yahoo.com. That's LLOYD, @yahoo.com. Or you can go to our website, American Eagle Financial Services, just like it sounds, .com.
Okay, great. Well, thanks again, Lloyd, for coming out today. It was a pleasure.
I always like being here, Tess. You are a great host. You treat your guests nice, and you provide them pizza.
You can't beat it. It's literally a free lunch.
Great pizza, too. Not just pizza, but great pizza.
Speaking of Uncle Mattio's, another shout out we'd love to give them. They're located at 3320 Buford Drive in Georgia. Be sure to go to their Facebook and tell them that you like them and you had great pizza here at Business Leaders of Today. They do catering, birthday parties, dine in and take out. So a special thanks to Uncle Mattio's Pizza. And if you missed any part of our show today, or you'd like to be a guest on one of our upcoming shows, you can go to businessleaders.businessradiox.com. I'm Tess Turin, your marketing and advertising consultant, where our business is growing your business. Thanks for tuning in and have a great weekend.